It is not often that you can find a truly wonderful French bistro setting with the atmosphere and the authentic food as well in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. But here we have found exactly that. We are at the Retro Bistro at the corner of Bussey Road and Gulf Road in Mount Prospect. We cannot wait to share it with you. We have traveled up the avenue to be here, and we want you to come along, so please do. Nestled into the dining room here at the Retro Bistro, and I must say, the minute you get in this place, you can feel the energy. A lot of energy flowing. Thank you very much, sir. And fine waitstaff service all around to boot. It's very vibey in here, and I literally just invented that word this moment. That's how inspiring I find Retro Bistro to be. It's vibey. You instantly get this vibe, very hip, yet very relaxing. And I must say that this is a Wednesday night we happen to be here. Typical weeknight, but look at how hopping this place is. People are here to unwind, so although there's a lovely energy here, you still can relax. So a very unique balance is achieved here from the atmosphere at Retro Bistro. I'm also cozying up with a glass of sparkling rosé, absolutely beautiful just to observe. The taste is going to be wonderful as well. A fine way to chase away those Wednesday workday blues. This is one of my favorite special treats at the Retro Bistro. This is their opening tapenade that they serve with their bread. The bread, of course, first of all, is amazing. Like any French bistro should have excellent bread, they do. The perfect crustiness where it's not like little knives in your mouth, but just enough to give you a crunch, and yet the rest of the bread is soft and pillowy. So this is the most amazing accompaniment to it. A tapenade is what I like to call like a smash spread. So a lot of fun things, usually olives, beans, that kind of thing, just smashed together, making a beautiful spread. And I could eat just this and the bread and be drinking wine all night here. That is how full of flavor this is, nice and hearty, a beautiful way to get things started. If you prefer the more traditional butter route, they have that as well, of course. And again, in true French style, the butter is nice and unsalted. Classic French touch. So this is their tenderloin carpaccio. Carpaccio is one of those dishes that a lot of people shy away from because, yes, the beef that's used is not cooked, but do not let that stop you. It is absolutely delectable. The tenderloin is shaved paper thin, and a good carpaccio works because you have all these other elements interplaying with the uncooked beef, and this is one of the finest I have ever had. Adorning the carpaccio here, we have heirloom tomatoes actually from the chef owner's garden, so how about that for a special touch? We have mushrooms, onions, very, very finely chopped red onions, some Roquefort cheese, red pepper, beautiful greens here, touch of balsamic, capers, all these flavors together, perfect matching up with this beautiful, thinly sliced, uncooked beef. And here we have their escargot de Burgundy. Escargot, again, similarly to carpaccio, a lot of people think, eek, it's snails. Friends, do not let this keep you away from this delicacy. These are beautifully done. You have the typical presentation of this lovely dish where each escargot is nestled in its own little cranny, and it has a beautiful treatment of butter, herbs, garlic, extreme flavor, so beautiful, and the escargot is nice and chewy and just soaks all that up. But here, their presentation has this extra touch of this amazingly fluffy, flaky, crusty pastry. So it's baked en croûte, baked within the pastry for an extra treat. And then the inner flakes here of this pastry grab on, as you can see here, to the garlic, the butter, and the the herbs. So this whole thing takes escargot to another level. Again, friends, both of these dishes, they're gifts from above. Do not shy away from them. And here we have a dish of pommes frites. Pommes frites is French, of course. It translates to potato fried things, what we would commonly refer to, of course, as French fries. But these are not typical French fries. Pommes frites really have a character all their own. These are fried perfectly, nice crispiness, but still fluffy on the inside, nice and thin, perfectly salted, just the right balance. You see, they're not greasy or anything crazy like that, just really the essence of the potato in its loveliness. This sauce that they have it with is incredible. This is their habanero aioli. Basically, it's house-made mayonnaise, and they have several different preparations of it here to flavor it. This one happens to be habanero, so it has a pepper kick, but they have achieved a proper balance with that. It's nothing overpowering at all. It gives just a nice little zinginess and matches up so well to these beautiful pommes frites. As we know, French food as a rule must be eaten with delightful wine. And we're going to check out the wine list here at Retro Bistro. So if you look at their selection of whites and reds, the first thing that we notice is that most of the wine here is available by the glass. And that is oh so delightful. Very often that's not the case. Often you're limited in your selection of things by the glass, and you're forced to try things by the bottle, which may not always work out for you. So I love the flexibility that they offer here, that you have a wide variety of things you can choose from by the glass, in addition to very nice bottles that they have as well. We see a lot of French selections here, but the list is not exclusively French. We have things from California, Italy. And if you look here at the section of reds, notice we have a Crianza Tempranillo. So that's a beautiful treat from Spain. Right underneath it, the Llama Old, I guess that would be Llama in English, Llama Old Vine Malbec. So a great Argentinian red there. So really very well rounded with their wine list. Look at this nice selection of sparkling. Sometimes you only get one sparkling to choose from, and you hope that it's good. But here we have all sorts of things, including a couple of champagne cocktails. One that is the classic champagne cocktail at the top, plus two that are the Kir Royale varieties. The Kir Royale Chambord Imperial that you see here is actually what I was drinking earlier. Looking at it, I thought it was a sparkling rosé, but it actually was this beautiful cocktail. So you have the Chambord raspberry touch with the champagne, and it is absolutely remarkable. And then the list is rounded out with specialty martinis and a beautiful selection of beer. Again, look at the international selection of beer you have, everything from France to Jamaica and Bud Light as well. Let's have a look at the fantastic menu here at Retro Bistro. So starting with their appetizers, you see a beef carpaccio along with escargot de Burgundy. We'll be exploring those. And they also have things like calamari, salmon, and the last time I was here, I got the assorted French fromage, classic, simple but elegant cheese plate. And honestly, for a Saturday afternoon, that was all I needed. That with the bread and some wine, and I was good to go. Salads here, some classic French salads, including the salad lyonnaise. Love that French touch of putting a warm poached egg atop the salad. It's amazing. And every time I have a French salad with poached egg, I think that we should be poaching eggs and putting them on everything every day of our lives. It's that wonderful. Next, the Alsatian tart flambe. You would liken it to a pizza, although I refuse to call it that. It's more of a wood fire baked flatbread of sorts with cheese and an assortment of ingredients. You see one here that actually has a duck on it with goat cheese. Amazing. And then here we have our main courses. Very nice selection of various proteins here, from tilapia to lamb, chicken, steak au poivre, of course, and a seafood pasta that has a whole array of things, calamari, shrimp, mussels, and so forth. So really every type of protein is featured here, but featured in that special French preparation. Children's menu for the little tykes, so you have to love that. And I love their bâtonnet de poulet, which would be chicken fingers, a prime example of how beautiful the French language is. What we call chicken fingers are really bâtonnets de poulet. I love that. Lastly, folks, we have some daily specials here. All sound lovely, and today is Wednesday, and oh my, what do we have here? Half-price wines. Perfection.
This is Roberto, one of my right-hand men.
Excellent.
And Elpidio on the line. They're fantastic. They're incredible cooks themselves, you know, something special. And when they smile, they can be very cute too, you know. What we're doing right now is the steak au poivre. We're using a prime cut of New York strip, about 10 to 12 ounces. He's coating it heavily with some cracked black peppercorn and some sea salt. And it's important to really season this meat, okay? New York strip is not necessarily known to be that tender of a meat, even though this is prime cut, but it's known for its flavor, its marbleization. So one of the things he's doing right now, over to the right, you can see this pan sitting here. What is that pan doing? That pan, we want it to glow. We want that pan so hot, we want it steaming. So when that steak hits, it doesn't just bubble on the pan, it sears. And what we want to do is we want to sear that steak just on the outside. We want to get it a nice coating, a nice char. And that only takes a couple minutes aside. The thing that we really want to do, though, is flame that pan. And we want to flame it. We use a little bit of cognac. We use that to flame the pan to release some of the flavors. We have a little cognac, chef. We got it. Okay. He hides his special drink down underneath. Okay.
Gotta have a stash.
So what he's going to do is he's going to put that pan in and he's going to sear it. He's going to give it a little on both sides, and then he's going to light the pan. And what does that do? What does the cognac do? It cracks the black peppercorns even more and releases the flavor into the pan. And what you'll see him do is you're going to see him, after he flames with the brandy, he's going to a cognac. Look at that, just searing. Once he's going to sear the steak and flame the steak, he's going to reduce the heat, and he's going to take the steak out, actually. And this is how he makes the sauce. He has a little red wine to deglaze the pan of not only the flavors of the steak, but also the black peppercorn, also the salt, and also the cognac itself. And it's going to blacken the outside, obviously. How are we going to finish this steak once we make the sauce? That steak, we don't finish it in the pan, we're going to finish it in the convection oven. So we're going to have a nice char on the outside, and we're going to finish it at about 400 degrees convection oven. Takes about 8 minutes. Because after searing it, I don't want to kill the meat. I want it to just cook gently and softly. I want that to be as tender as possible. Flip it over, chef. Look at that nice char. See that golden brown you see? You see just that beautiful color there? Nice and good brown. The black peppercorns have cracked a little bit. And as you can see in the pan, look we got some of those black peppercorns. We have a little bit of that salt. And we also have the flavors of that steak. So, chef, why don't you give it a little flame now, I think. Very nice. We don't need any more. That is about a half an ounce of brandy, and that's going to sear. Now, it's going to leave some liquid in the pan, but it's burning off the alcohol. People are concerned sometimes about alcohol, but it's not burning anymore. There's almost zero alcohol at all. We're going to let it sit in the pan. He's going to reduce that heat a little bit. There you go. We're going to let that pan cool, and then he's going to use a little touch of red wine to deglaze that pan. Go bring it, a couple scoops of that red wine sauce right there. One more in there. He's going to take his spoon or his spatula. He's going to scrape the pan a little bit like this. And you know what he's scraping for? He's scraping for those little pieces of meat. He's scraping for those black peppercorns. He's scraping the pan. There you go. And it's thickening right there. It looks good. That sauce is reducing. The flavor is becoming incredible. The last thing to do, he's going to move it off the heat. And he's going to add a little touch of cream. Now watch, you'll be surprised. He's only going to put like maybe a 3 ounces in there, maybe a little bit more. That's good right there, no more than that. You're going to take the steak out, chef. Take the steak out. Put it on the plate. There you go. And that's going to go in the oven. Look at the color of this brown peppercorn cognac sauce. And there wasn't that much cream. You're talking just a little drips in there. That's about it. Look at that delicious sauce right there. So that's how you can make the sauce right in the pan. You can do this at home too, by the way. Maybe you got to be careful with the flame. Maybe don't flame it as much, you know.
This is a quintessential French dish, the steak au poivre. This is a beautiful 12-ounce New York strip, cooked to a very beautiful medium rare. And this actually is flame seared. The searing on the outside here gives it not just an extra little crunchy crust, but it sears in the juices. So both of those things make this such a beautiful preparation. You have a black peppercorn adornment, which you can clearly see. And the sauce here involves some veal stock, some red wine, and some cognac. Beautiful combination together. Just a little touch of cream, so it gives it just a little bit of body without being overpowering. And speaking of not overpowering, same is true of these peppercorns. They're just enough. If there were just 3 more on here, maybe it would go over the edge. That's how perfectly balanced this is. You just have a nice little spice without being crazy spiceola. Perfect mashed potatoes, needless to say, totally hand mashed right here. They're perfect. Behold the Hawaiian wasabi crusted ahi tuna. Perfect ahi. Look at that bountiful, moist pink. Nice, generous portion, too. This is a huge hunk of ahi tuna. Lightly crusted. The wasabi is so nice. You have a little bit more here on the side. Gives it that perfect boost. Served with mashed potatoes that are perfection. A very nice, light wine sauce. So it goes very well with this. It doesn't drown it by any means. And lovely vegetables here, pea pods and carrots. And the vegetables here are done in that classic French style, where first of all, they're ultra fresh and ultra simple. And you have a nice sprinkling of dill on these, a little oil, and they are simply a marvelous accompaniment to any French dish. And for our tasting of these 2 delightful entrees, the chef owner has selected for us a lovely glass of Pinot Noir. Truly a perfect pairing, because this is the lightest of all the red wines, and it actually goes with both of these dishes. Of course, red wine, classic with red meat, but the ahi tuna is just heavy enough of fish. You got enough protein there, a little bit of fat, where it stacks up very nicely with the red wine as long as it's very light. So this is going to be perfect. Again, crowning touch. They know their wine here, certainly, as well as their French food.
One of the most traditional French salads that we make here, and that you'll see anywhere, is the salad lyonnaise, no question. All right? Beautiful bleached frisee. And when I say bleach, it doesn't mean it's bleach with bleach. It's just the color. It's a white frisee or a chicory, other people call it. This gives wonderful texture to the salad. If it was more delicate, I don't think it would be as tasty, you know, that crunchiness of the greens. They don't add all the flavor, though. The thing that adds the flavor is the wonderful warm poached egg, the bacon, the walnuts, the raspberry dressing. Delicious combination. Now here, a lot of times what we do is when we poach that egg, we want it to be a little runny. Some people are frightened of this, but we do this to order. And when you crack that wonderful soft egg on top, and it bleeds that wonderful flavorful yolk into the bacon, into the walnuts, into the frisee with the raspberry dressing, a little bread, a little butter. Now you can almost forget the main course. You wouldn't do that. Right. But you could do that.
But I feel the same way, Chef. I think a lyonnaise salad is magical.
Yeah,
and I am also of the school of thought that we should be poaching eggs and putting them on everything.
Yeah, that's right. And bacon. And bacon. Everything is delicious with bacon.
Exactly. Salad lyonnaise.
And cheesecake.
And
cheesecake, so cute, so good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. It's the most popular cheesecake.
Oh, very nice. You can have the salad, and that allows you to have dessert.
Yes.
So you're set.
Good.
Very good. Thank you. One of the most classically French desserts would be, of course, creme brulee. Lighter than a pudding, very creamy, light, vanilla-y, just delicious, almost custardish, but again, really light. And then with that signature crust on top, that burned on sugar crusts with the fun little blowtorch that, again, all of us need to have at home. And this is done to perfection. Nice little cookie adornment treat here. Their chocolate cake is amazing. It's essentially a flourless chocolate cake. You can see there's different layers in here. There's also a chocolate mousse type of layer. And then we have it finished off with a chocolate ganache, this lovely chocolate casing on the outside. So delicious, so rich, and very cocoa-y. It's not crazy sweet at all. It's really more the essence of what chocolate is, the pure cocoa. Lovely sauce here on the outside, this raspberry going on. And then you have real whipped cream and mint here that is straight from the chef owner's garden. So just like we saw earlier with their heirloom tomatoes from his garden, so is their mint. They also grow spearmint and other things there that adorn the dishes here at the restaurant. All right, these lovely ladies we've accosted in the parking lot, and they're such good sports. We have one from Chicago, one from Bloomingdale, and they just finished their dinner. So how was it, ladies?
Wonderful.
It was very, very good. We're celebrating our anniversary here, and we come here a lot. This is our favorite,
It's our favorite
very
restaurant.
favorite restaurant.
Yep.
Wonderful. Tell us why you like Retro Bistro so much.
Food is fabulous.
The service is amazing.
Prices are right.
It's just a beautiful atmosphere. You got the music, and they're so friendly here. We love these people.
All right, we have some more Retro Bistro fans here, folks. Tell us why you like this place so much.
It's got a nice taste.
Good service. Yeah, good service.
So you would definitely recommend Retro Bistro to anyone.
Yes.
So now we'd like to have a few words with one of the staff here at Retro Bistro. This would be Kara. She's been taking lovely care of us this evening. Kara, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you so much. We thank you for your great service. You can clearly tell that you enjoy working here. So how long has it been for you and Retro Bistro?
I have been here for over 14 years. Been a very long time.
Very nice. So you do a little bit of everything?
I do. Kind of, do the front door. I wait tables. I manage the bar. Yeah. A little of this and that.
Okay, great. Really get the feeling in here that all the people who come here are thoroughly enjoying it. So, in your opinion, what is it about Retro Bistro that people love so much?
Family, casual, fine dining, I like to call it.
Right, exactly. Not easy to be all those things, but really this place does it all and does it very well.
Correct.
And we have some very happy diners here at the Retro Bistro, having what looks like a beautiful creme brulee.
That's absolutely true, and it's not just beautiful, it's great.
Wonderful. So you two are fans of the bistro. How long have you been coming here?
Oh, I have to say probably around 10 years, I would think. Or more, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun,
For sure, especially with food, time warp, right? So what is it about the bistro that keeps you folks coming back?
George?
It's the family-like nature of being here. Chris and staff have always welcomed us as if we were part of the family from day one. And whether we came with our daughters, our recently deceased mother-in-law, and others that we brought here, always has been a great time, wonderful. Always have good memories of being here.
Very nice. And that really is something that you don't find commonly, this sort of family personal connection. And it is special when you have it. Absolutely.
It is.
The Retro Bistro is owned by Chef Chris Barth and his wife Lorraine. And so we're going to spend a few moments talking with the chef to hear about their vision. Chef, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Nice, very nice having you.
Thank you. We're enjoying a lovely evening here, thoroughly enjoying. And we'd love to hear about your vision for Retro in the beginning. How did you and your wife get this whole thing going?
Well, I must say, it's a long time ago now, because now it's almost 25 years we've been here at this location. 1990, a long time.
Wow.
I had less gray hair, and I was minus a couple pounds, I must say too. When our passion comes from, it starts at the family level. It comes from our mothers. It comes from our fathers. Their passion for food and wine and entertaining. And we have it on both sides. My family, my mother Donna Sue, loved her cooking as a young child. I loved cooking with her. I loved to see what she could do. And she was an experimenter. She loved to try different things, but she always had her old favorites. And when it was time for me to decide what I wanted to do a little bit, going to culinary school was more than a passion. It was something that I knew I wanted to do. I always loved cooking. I always loved my wine, and I wanted to put them together. And I was lucky enough to be here in the Chicagoland area, and went to Kendall College. Fabulous culinary school in the Chicagoland area. And as I was going to school there, I realized that the kind of restaurant, the type of food, the type of ambiance that I was looking for, and that all kind of comes together. The food, the ambiance, it all kind of comes together a bit. And I love that idea of a casual elegance, I love the idea of people coming and be able to dine but still, have a wonderful cold, microbrew from the area, or have a martini and maybe just an appetizer. But something that was maybe a little unique, or not maybe just unique, but was kind of a classic. So we blend some of those classic French bistro dishes, along with some maybe that nouvelle cuisine, something a little different sometimes. And hey, we love to have white tablecloth on our tables. We have gentlemen coming off the golf course. They wear their shorts and they wear their golf shoes, and they come to my lounge in my dining room and enjoy a wonderful meal. But we also have that wonderful couple that's celebrating that 20th anniversary, and they're sitting all dressed up with the white, and they got a bottle of champagne going at the same time. So I love that feel. I love that casual elegance. And I think bistro cuisine, and I can discuss what I think bistro cuisine is. A bistro is a family-run restaurant. Okay, it's from the heart, and we use some basic French classics, whether it be escargot or pâtés, maybe French cheeses, even frog legs. Okay, based around some of that nouvelle, maybe call it nouvelle California cuisine. Fresh, wonderful produce used every day. Other main courses, things like the steak au poivre, which maybe you've seen today. Things also like braised rabbit, veal kidneys. And even some wonderful fish, skate wing, beautiful, delicious fish out of the Dover Straits type of area fish, delicious, and also in the Gulf of Mexico.
Really, I think a very common misconception when people hear French bistro, they think, oh my God, way too elegant, way too stuffy, right? I've got to have like white tie and tails on kind of a thing. So I love your explanation of more of it's really a family, almost a country-ish sort of atmosphere. And I must say, you have really achieved that here. As you said, you have the elegant touches, but people are also very comfortable to be here as well.
I'll tell you, years ago, and we've even tried to people feel more casual. I mean, my staff wears chef coats. They wear jeans, okay? I want anyone to come here to say, oh my gosh, I'm not overdressed, or I'm not underdressed. It can go any way, and I like to sit, it's almost like a city type of dining. You go downtown, you see what people wear nowadays. The jacket and tie is no longer, that's not happening. But if you wanted that to happen, I'm so sorry, if you wanted that to happen, it could totally happen. No problem. Jacket and tie, no problem. So
let's talk a little bit about this whole farm to table concept, which we hear so much about, especially lately. It's become very, very much in vogue. You hear this farm to table thing where the restaurateurs are really supporting local purveyors, which is a wonderful and very worthwhile thing. Local purveyors of meats and vegetables and cheeses and such. So while it's worthwhile, it also makes a big difference in the dining experience itself. I know you're a firm believer in this concept, so please tell us, what is the difference it makes when you have these sort of truly rich from the earth ingredients you're dealing with?
It's the natural connection. It's the natural connection to your local area. It's almost holistic in a way.
Yes.
You are not buying something that's from across the world. You're not buying a Swiss cheese or a cheddar cheese or even a mozzarella from Italy, which are fabulous. But we all know, even in Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, the wonderful produce that comes out of those areas, the wonderful cheeses, even in fact some of the wonderful wines.
We understand that you have some things from your personal garden that show up in the entrees here at Retro Bistro.
I love even things like all of our fresh herbs that we use here at the restaurant. I mean, we need them, we go cut them. We cut what we need.
That is the best.
We don't have this big pile of herbs that are like sitting in the refrigerator too long. We need them. We cut them. They're alive.
One thing also that I have seen in my past visits here, your role here as really the executive chef and owner, in between all of your myriad other duties that comes with running this place, I love how you have sort of a standard perch, which is right over here.
It's a dangerous perch.
It's a dangerous place, but a magical one, because you're right there where the dining room meets the bar.
Right.
And so you see everybody come in, he sees everybody walk out, and you make it a point to be very personable with each of your guests that you encounter.
A relationship, a customer relationship in our business, it is personal to me. To me it is. It's personal. And I've invited you to my place. I've invited you to come, and I sure hope you had a good time. Whether I greet you coming through or greet you on the way out, when I say thank you and hope you had a wonderful dinner, it comes from the heart. It comes from the heart.
We salute you, bravo to you and your wife for really what's an amazing place you two have created together. Your dream has culminated into something very special, and we applaud you for that.
Oh, I thank you so much. It was so nice having you. Love having you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll certainly be back, Chef.
Hope so. That, you promise.
It's an absolute promise.
Pinky swear.
Solemn, you got it. Please enjoy an evening of fine French bistro food at Retro Bistro on Bussy Road in Mount Prospect, just up the avenue.